Hello again. This is Desiree Alexander, aka Educator Alexander, and today we're going to continue our series about how to use Office 365 Outlook in a more productive way. So, one of the things I'm going to show you today is how to use folders. I'm always getting questioned about how do I have so many folders? How can I find information so quickly? And the answer is I put them all in folders. I make sure that everything is organized. Whenever I need a folder, I just go ahead and create one, and I just keep the productivity folder train moving and on track. So I'm going to show you how to use folders, how to manipulate them, how to name them, and all of that good stuff. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, I have two sections of folders. So I have favorites and I have the folder with my name. If you notice these little arrows, what they do if I click it is it actually collapses that section. So if I don't want to see all the folders all the time, maybe it gets a little much, I can go ahead and collapse them, or I can open them up. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to collapse the favorites, and I'm just going to leave up the folder with my name on it. So I'm going to show you first of all how to create your own folder. You can do this in two ways. First way is you see this little plus sign. I can click it, and the first thing it's going to do is create a box, a folder box at the end of my list. If I happen to think, well, you know what, I really don't want that folder anymore, I can just click off of it and it goes away. The second way you can create a folder is to right click on my name and click create new folder. It creates the exact same box. So I'm going to call this folder delete because I am going to want to delete it later. When I'm done with it, I can either click off of it somewhere or simply click enter. So now I have a folder. But if you notice, my folder is not in alphabetical order. So I am going to refresh my screen, and when it comes back up, my folder is now in alphabetical order. I'm going to explain these numbers in a second. Now I do want to show you that inbox, draft, sent items, and deleted items are your standard folders, so they are always going to be at the top. Also, I have these as my favorites, so I am going to show you what that means in a second. Okay, so I have my delete folder right here. So one thing I want to do is rename my folder. So what I can do is right click on it and click rename. So now I'm going to rename my delete folder to sample. So now I have a folder that is called sample. Again, it's not in alphabetical order. So anytime if I'm working, I just really want to see it in the place it's going to be, I can leave it right here at sample. A tip when you're doing your folders to make your folders go a little bit further to the top is to put numbers in front of your folders. I do suggest starting with 0001 instead of 123, because what happens is once you get to 10, the 10 likes to come and hang out with the 1 because it's in the 1 family. 1, 1, 0. So I suggest starting with 0, so that way you can go all the way up to 99 and you'll be fine. So if I come down here, right click and click rename, and I'm going to go ahead and put 03 in front of sample folder. All right, let's refresh. And there it goes. So you see that it makes it come further to the top. Now there's another thing that I can do, which is make it a favorite, but I'm going to show you that in just 1 second. The next thing I want to show you is how to get subfolders. So you see, anytime you see this little arrow, that means that you have a folder underneath that folder. So what I can do is a couple of things. I can go to the folder that I actually want to create a subfolder with. So for example, if I go to my sample folder and I actually want a folder in my sample folder, I can right click, hit create new subfolder, and name it whatever I want to. Let's name it 2017. So now I have a sample folder, I have a subfolder, and notice that now I have the little arrow icon to tell me I have a subfolder. But you know what? I want to move this 2017 subfolder into the financial aid folder. So, a couple of ways I can do this. I can right click and hit move. Once I hit move, it's asking me which folder do you want to move this to. I can simply choose a folder and hit move. But I'm going to show you the second way as well. I can left click on this and just drag it into the folder that I want it to go into. So notice sample lost its little arrow because it no longer has a folder in it, but financial aid gained one. So that's how easy it is to move around your subfolders. I'm going to go ahead and delete this folder. How do you do that? You go to it, right click, and go to delete. Now notice financial aid has lost its little arrow. Next, I'm going to show you how to make a folder a favorite. So you see we collapsed our favorite sections. I'm going to open it up, and what I'm going to do is, if you notice, every time I come to a folder, you see a nice little star there. So what I'm going to do is make my sample folder a favorite. If I just click the star, you see that it doesn't leave under Desiree Alexander, but it also goes into my favorite section. So these are your folders that you want to get to very, very quickly, that you're going to use the most often. I usually tell you try not to put that many folders up here because then it's just going to get cumbersome. Your favorites is something that if I close this folder, I can get to very, very quickly. So you want these to only be the ones that you go to probably every single day or that you're going to use that often. Next, if I did not want this sample folder in my favorites anymore, I can simply click the star and say OK. It takes it out of my favorites, but notice it is still under Desiree H. Alexander. So I'm still fine. I didn't delete anything, but that's how I can get rid of it. The next thing I want to show you is actually how to get emails into your folder. That's the whole point of making these folders, is that now I can move these emails out of my inbox and move them into different folders. So what I'm going to do is take my first practice email. I'm going to click on it, and I can simply drag it into any folder that I want to. I'm going to put it in the sample folder. If you notice, my sample folder now has a 1 by it. What that means is I have one email in that folder that is unread. So if I click on that folder, I see that I did not read this email. So I can open it, read the email, and I will be good to go. Also, once it opens, that one suddenly goes away because I don't have any unread emails in that folder anymore. So if you ever see numbers, that's what they mean. So now I have this email. It's no longer in my inbox. If you notice, only practice email 2 is in my inbox, but that email is now saved in my sample folder. So that's how you get emails very, very quickly into your other folders. If I wanted to move this into a different folder, I can do the exact same thing and just drag and drop it into whatever folder or subfolder that I want it to go into. So that's how easy it is to go ahead and move your emails into your folders, and then you won't have to worry about having a very, very cluttered inbox anymore. Some of the folders that I suggest is making a pending folder. So what that is you can put things in there that you are waiting to hear a response from. That's really cool because then you can always go to your pending folder and send reminder emails. You can keep up with who needs to respond and what you're still waiting on answers to. Another email folder that is really, really helpful is a to-do folder. Now, some people like to leave their to-do emails sitting in their inbox. Well, if you want to clean out your inbox and have your inbox only be used for new emails, then what you can do is put a to-do folder, and anything that you are still working on, you can throw in your to-do folder. That way your inbox only has your new messages. So those are some quick tips on how to make your Outlook email a little bit more productive using folders. Have a great day.